wants to be. Hey, check, you brought something. I kept it warm for you. I'm sure it's just to inform everyone that she's infinitely smarter than everyone else. Or that's what the show wants you to believe. Fuck my ass! I hate this show! This emotional binge starts to retire to a kindergarten automation. Bejor? Oh no, you better keep Deep Space Nine's name out of your fucking mouth. Well, I was just gonna let the last video sit. Say my piece and leave it be. Forget it. It's not worth the stress. And all those toxic feelings about fiction are bad for your health. Seriously, look at me. But then, my previous video got more views than any other video I made before. So, I guess I'm covering the whole thing now. Get in, strap in, and brace for impact. Because we're hammering down through the sludge of inconsistencies, plot holes, and straight-up nonsense of Starfleet Academy. But we're going to speed things up and try to rip it off like a Band-Aid. But it's going to feel more like duct tape on a nutsack. Begin with a montage of various classes and Nala addressing the entire student body, including the kid in the goddamn wheelchair. This shit was cured centuries ago, and even if it wasn't, disability should disqualify you from service. Get off your ass! Do it for Nog!
Tactical engagement is not about self-defense, though you will learn self-defense. It's not about weapons. No, this class is about me!
Wow. Remember when narcissism was portrayed as a toxic and villainous trait? It's funny how this character goes on and on about how great she is, but we never see it.
One day, you'll all stare death in the face as she stares back. And none of my cadets will confront her like gutless cowards.
Confront her? Excuse me? Death is a woman now? You feminized death itself? Look, even if that is accurate and appropriate, which it kinda is if you look at the divorce and suicide rate of men side by side, feminizing everything you get your sticky fingers on has been overplayed.
One we share with our venerable neighbors at the War College, an institution that's turned out the officers that kept Starfleet strong during the burn.
Wait, what? The class that's been in use for the last century is called the War College? But why? Is this an experiment? Is there no basic training for enlisted personnel anymore? If we're being very generous, we can assume that this is supposed to be West Point and Annapolis on the same campus, but why would you do that? The Army, Navy, and Marine Corps have entirely different functions. Why would you? Oh, hell. Are you doing the Harry Potter thing? Why are you doing this to Star Trek? Writing what you know, I guess. Caleb gets his roommate assignment with the fish prick, and they both bitch about each other so much that they are sent to Nala's office.
We'll find your mother.
She's still alive.
And when we do, I'll do everything I can to make the Federation see that your mother's sentence was extreme, even in a harsher time.
Bitch, no! Accessory to murder! Hello? Goddamn! Are you against consequences at all?
But there doesn't seem to be a Goja 5 in any Starfleet database. No planets, ships, moon, zero. It doesn't seem to exist.
Well, wow. Hey, okay, you're actually trying. Still waiting for you to be honest about quitting. Meanwhile, Caleb gets reprimanded for multiple escape attempts. Why, though? She gave you the option to leave if you wanted to. Meanwhile, you stick around and act like a disrespectful prick all the time. Maybe it's not a good idea to force people into Starfleet that don't want to be there. You see, there's actually an opportunity here to be a commentary on the draft, but these showrunners are too incompetent to consider that.
He needs his ass kicked.
He's been getting his ass kicked his whole life. I think I'm going to treat him like somebody who actually does what they say they're going to do and see if that fritzes his motherboard.
Ugh, Christ, I bet everyone gets a trophy in this school for sleeping.
Dear, have you considered that Nurse Bracco was lying to mess with your head?
Consider the possibility that the cartoon bad guy might lie? Oh boy, is this line gonna bite you in the ass in episode 6.
The Betazoids are bringing their youth delegation. They're the ones that pressured their government to enter negotiations with us.
Activism, love it.
If I didn't hate this character before, I definitely do now. How else can you make a bad example? How about double standards?
Commander Calric, your counterpart at the War College.
Pleasure, Commander.
Regulation footwear is a requirement.
Yeah, I heard that. I just don't like wearing them if I don't have to.
In all seriousness, it's unsafe. You could
Stub my toe, get a splinter. I signed the waivers.
Leaders lead by example first, but this says more about the Admiral than it does her. He just stays quiet as she acts like a child with no respect for rules or regulations. The War College commander is a bit stiff and proper, but he is reminding her of regulations that she literally laughs off. Remember how she told Caleb that he would have to get a regulation haircut? Rules for thee, but not for me, right? No wonder Caleb acts the way he does. Well, at least now I have a character that I can hold on to. Finally, somebody who makes sense. Although, with this new character comes something that these showrunners could not resist. A man to humiliate every chance they could get.
If you want to talk about the good old days, I have more of them than you.
I hate this character. Let's speed things up. The Caleb plot revolves around him finding a planet that is not on Starfleet's charts. And the Beta plot revolves around the negotiations for bringing Beta Z back into the Federation. You see, they built a wall around their section of space because they were being raided by the Venari after the burn. You know, that thing that crippled the galaxy in Star Trek Discovery? You didn't watch that show? Good. Don't. And rejoining the Federation would mean that they would have to bring the wall down. Hey, show, what are you trying to say?
He's an isolationist who campaigned his presidency on keeping that wall up.
He's also a betazoid, an empath who can read our feelings, Cranky.
Very subtle. You're not clever. No, not going to talk about this scene. She annoys me. He annoys me. It's another scene of a young man being put into his place by a smart-ass woman because that hasn't happened since literally the previous scene. And this show has a misandry woman date.
Mouth isn't worth a damn without wisdom. But what do I know? I'm old and boring.
Another smug, self-satisfied face of an annoying female character. Apparently, this character is from a previous Kurtzman Trek show that you didn't see. I can totally see why Caleb can't get out of here fast enough. So he climbs a fence that was clearly designed to be easily climbed and finds a reason to stick around.
Where are you going?
Finally, a female character actually worth looking at. We did have this one.
Genesis.
But what she has to say is more frustrating than Dallas traffic on game day.
I want to learn how to kill a man with a toothbrush. You were in prison, right? That's the rumor anyway. Teach me in exchange for my silence.
Shut up. I should go.
Hey, wait, what's your name?
I guess a team drama needs awkward romance. The president of Beta Z arrives. Apparently he's deaf and has a voice thingy but still signs. There's even an assistant signer, just in case we're not paying attention. And he even reads lips, making the entire thing redundant. Okay, pump the brakes. I already addressed in the last video how disabilities just shouldn't exist in Trek with the near miracle levels of medical technology. But what really annoys me is how this family will speak to him in sign language. They're betazoids. They don't even need to speak to each other.
There is no need for threats. The Waxana is a sensible female.
I don't like the sound of this, Mother. I believe I can control him, little one.
And you may rejoin your friend.
Mother, are you sure? I'll be fine.
Did you watch TNG or just read Wikipedia? Why is there a second signer? Why are you here? Apparently this actor is deaf in real life, so I will actually give credit there. Nothing sells better than the real thing, and the script demands a character to be deaf for narrative reasons. So they're intentionally ignoring more Trek lore just to tell their own story. I wonder how many more times that's going to happen.
Protection for Beta Z would require 12 battle-ready starships to remain within 5 light years of our planet at all times. 6 seats on the Federation Security Council, and the power to veto any potential new Federation member without consensus.
The Federation is a democracy, Mr. President. Veto without consensus. It strips us of our core identity.
Your identity isn't our concern, Admiral.
Hey, show, what are you trying to say? You're not subtle. At least now, I have 2 characters that make sense, and a third that I can look at. Good job, show. You're almost watchable. During a recess in the negotiations, the new love interest turns out to be the not princess of Beta Z, and wants a tour, and wants Caleb to be the one to do it. And he will do it in exchange for less labor, and to use the stellar cartography room so he can try again to find the missing planet. And that's dumb, because every Federation record already told you that they don't know where it is. There's more flirting and soft music, blah, blah, blah. But what's important is she has access to Beta Zed's charts, and they actually find it. If it's behind the Beta Z wall, how did his mother get through it? Apparently, criminals go to this planet all the time. Not much of a wall, if you ask me. What are you trying to say, show? Anyway, the negotiations resume, and I find more reason to love this president.
Somewhere in the galaxy, the Vanari Roll just celebrated.
He's really dedicated to not bending his position. Caleb gets the bright idea of taking his new girlfriend to see humpback whales without letting anyone else know. And you know something? This might be a hot take, but I actually like this scene. Most of it anyway. It is a soft reference to Star Trek IV that does not insult the source material, thank Christ. She uses her beta powers to learn the whale is pregnant, similar to how Spock did in the movie. The acting is good, and there's a small spark of actual chemistry. But the interrupted kiss trope has to happen. You dumbass, all you had to do was pull off the Tor nonsense like you did earlier, just so he could show you this. And to be clear, Mr. President is framed as the asshole here, but he absolutely is not. Sure, he's looking for reasons to make the negotiations fail, but you don't run off with a powerful leader's daughter without telling anyone. Chrono at least had an excuse of not knowing she was a princess, and still goes to jail no matter what he does. This gives him all the reason he needs to look him up and use his history against Starfleet. It's really just more evidence that you should not have recruited him in the first place. Cut to a party where we see two of our smug, insufferable characters say smug, insufferable character things.
I'll say it. That dude's judgy as hell, and I don't care if he can sense that I think that.
One-on-one, their best, our best, to the death. Just quicker sometimes.
What is wrong with you?
Are we supposed to like anyone in this show? During this party, Caleb and the not princess go have their fourth moment alone together. Apparently, it's working out so well, they had to manufacture drama. This scene, it just makes no sense. And since we know that she has powers to read his mind, it makes even less sense.
My mom made me feel that way. She got taken away. She's why I'm looking for Code 5. She might be there, and I haven't seen her since I was 6, so I really need...
Wait. That's why you care about Beta Z lowering its wall?
What? No.
Why didn't you just tell me? I mean, I didn't keep anything from you.
Because I didn't realize that my traumatic childhood was part of the tour.
At least I was honest and upfront. Were you just using me this whole time? When we were together, I thought it was because you liked me, not because you were trying to manipulate me.
It was because I liked you.
You see what I mean? There's no logic here. She is accusing him of being manipulative, but he's not the one with psychic powers. Oh, right. She's got some kind of inhibitor on her neck because her powers can be too dangerous if not controlled. So, you're ripping off Marvel now? Twice? And Harry Potter? What's next? Cobra Kai? Then the negotiations fall apart because Mr. President did his homework on Caleb and did not like what he saw. Neither did I, man.
Academy admission traditionally includes a 6-week preparatory program, followed by a rigorous entrance exam and intense psychological scrutiny. Was Mir exempt from these? On Beta Z, we maintain stringent boundaries around our children. Why are you willing to risk so much for a single cadet?
Because he's exceptional. All the more so for living an unprotected life. We won't exclude him for that. I certainly won't.
Okay, so you deflected that. How can you screw this up now?
I lived in the Janaran Sanctuary and swam in the Opal Sea. Beta Z was paradise. Some of the bravest, kindest people I've ever met. It seems to me, sir, that you're allowing your walls to define you now.
It's one thing for you to tell me who my ancestors were. Another to demand we look past all that has happened and expect us not to have changed. We came here hoping for actions, but received only empty words. The negotiations are over. We will leave in the morning.
Well, you're going to take responsibility for that one? The next morning, Nala goes to Caleb's dorm for a chat.
Caleb, I've been searching for you a long time, and then I found you.
Bitch, no you weren't. I went over this twice during my last video. You quit, then sat on your ass on Bajor eating ice cream. Other people found him. You had to be told he was found. You fucking... Okay, let's speedrun the rest of the episode. He gives her an idea, makes up with the not princess, they open negotiations again, and offer to move the headquarters of Starfleet to Beta Z. Then, this guy who has been hell-bent on changing policy decides to change policy because everyone stands and he has a Grinch moment. Caleb gets a new roommate that's the not prince, and his girlfriend joins the war college, just so we can have more manufactured conflict. So, in this episode, we get more new characters, and some are actually interesting, though the show goes out of its way to humiliate them because they're males. I need to rinse my eyes. Anyone got any acid?
Step on it.
This episode annoyed me significantly more than the last episode, and it's less consequential. So, I'm going to take the express lane through most of it. It's basically women putting men in their place. The whole episode. From students to teachers. They even bring up death being personified as a woman again.
Every warrior knows that you live each day with an eye towards death, as she walks free and upright amongst the living.
If death really was a woman, I would have married and divorced her by now. This time, we focus on Fish Guy. I called him Cobra Kai wannabe trope in the last video, but it turns out the Cobra Kai wannabes are actually the War College. Because of course they are. Jock Fish is competitive and strives to do better than everyone, but is outperformed by this one, who I haven't named yet.
Genesis Life.
Genesis.
Let's call her Daddy Issues.
When do you sleep?
Admiral's daughter. You don't need sleep. I'll never know.
Not easy being an admiral's daughter.
Takes daddy issues to a whole new level for sure.
Caleb finds his not princess, not girlfriend, and fails to block any of her basketball shots. I repeat, this very tall and super fit, hyper athletic young man fails to block any of the shots from this shorter, skinnier, and probably slower young woman. Only because the script says so. Even the War College chancellor is humiliated by Nala some more, because of course he is.
Empathy. These kids have no reason to believe in anybody. I want them to believe in me. I need them to believe in you.
Okay. I'll do it if you stop talking.
Thank you.
Mechanics to achieve kids. Oh boy, okay. Whoa, that's a lot.
What are we working with?
What we're working with is 100 push-ups. Now! And the next interruption, 200.
Using the mascot in the game is a tradition.
Laser has only one setting. Transport. Do not be late again.
Come on, she's porous!
Yeah, the best of us are, and it's permeable, not porous. Get your pee straight.
5 minutes left, cadets! If you want to make the team, impress me now! Pathetic!
I yield.
Mom and dad issues. Impressive.
Had to be you or something. You lead. I follow.
Okay.
The misandry woman date isn't going to jerk itself off. It requires the submission of the men. The plot around this episode is about athletics and a prank war, using transporters to drop them half naked in public spaces around campus, an endangered fungus, and a misunderstanding of Sun Tzu.
Despite being known as the empathy flower, it's not actually a flower. It's a fungus.
Respectfully, this is the single dumbest idea I've ever heard. How is this strategic?
Ever read The Art of War, Raimi? 5th century BC. Sun Tzu learned patience in the garden and respect for the opponent. They got you pretty bad.
Oh my god. The correct quote is, "It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." What else are you going to misquote, take out of context, or twist around? We also get lots of screaming by the lesbian half-breed. This whole thing feels like a filler episode. And in a season that's 10 episodes long, that costs millions of dollars each. In the Trek shows during the TNG era, we would get similar episodes, inconsequential to the overall story, but would focus on the development of a particular character. It would go on a short journey with them, and they would grow a little. Each episode that did this would be a stepping stone in their overall journey. But every character that gets any attention in this episode all come to the same conclusion of women being superior because the script says so. It even frames Nala's breaking of the rules as okay because she was more sneaky. She actually weaponized empathy against the students of the War College. But there's one line here that really pissed me off.
It's how we were taught. The War College teaches its cadets to fight battles. I'm teaching you to end wars, to learn the patience to formulate a true strategy, and the empathy to understand your opponents so you can disarm them.
Okay then, bitch, tell me this. Why did you straight up destroy Wannabe Mud's ship the second your ship was working again? Why didn't you just disable it? Why not take prisoners? They didn't kill any of your people. You fuckers destroyed and killed everyone on that ship while smiling like psychopaths. Seriously, look!
Blow that ship down.
With pleasure, Captain.
A teachable moment.
Why did you go that far? You couldn't shoot him in the leg, or the tires, or use tasers, or phasers? This is just more examples of how you shouldn't be leading anything. And it's the third episode in a row where you say bullshit about yourself that's verifiably untrue from the first fucking episode. Fuck my ass! I hate this show! I am not taking this lying down, and you should not be bossing anyone around lying down either. One other thing about this episode that felt very weird is this gay sexual tension.
Hello, my name is Jaden.
Jaden?
It means he who crosses oceans of fire. So, yeah.
I'm Kyle. It means Kyle.
Show? What is this? Look, we've had gay trick characters before, and I'm not even against gay Klingons either. If you've seen my search history, you might find evidence of my failed quest for a scene between Lursa, B'Etor, and Grilka that does not exist yet. What I take issue with is a Klingon being awkward toward someone he's sexually interested in. Klingons have always been, by far, the most masculine of any race in Star Trek. When they see someone they want to fuck, they are more direct and aggressive.
Torn ligaments, strained tendons, numerous contusions, bruises, and scratches. What have you been doing?
You mean, what have we been doing?
Never mind. I don't need that particular image running around my head. I'll just treat you. What happened to you two?
Well, if you must know,
No.
I wish that was the last time I bring up Worf. Because now... This episode starts with the misquoting of the Drumhead episode from TNG that's so bad it's not even grammatically correct. Then immediately contradicts said quote when the good doctor tells a student that he has to earn free speech.
You know, there are some words I've known since I was a schoolboy. With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censored, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. Those words were uttered by Judge Aaron Satie as wisdom and warning. The first time any man's freedom is trodden on.
With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured. The first thought forbidden us all irrevocably.
The first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably.
Forbidden us all irrevocably.
You bonehead.
Debate competition. Speech and debate is not for the chicken shit.
Excuse me, are you allowed to talk like that?
Like what? Cadet Holloway, know that I have existed longer than your entire lineage. I have earned the right to speak as I see fit. One day you too may earn that same privilege.
The first speech censored, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied.
I am not sure if this was a mistake by Robert Picardo on the set that no one caught, or if the writers failed to simply use copy and paste for a direct quote. I can't hold that against them too much, since my last video had a thumbnail with the wrong use of vile when I first posted it. But my YouTube videos do not cost tens of millions of dollars to make. Hey, wait a minute. He has not earned the right to speak as he pleases? That sounds familiar, actually.
This is censorship.
This is what?
Censorship. You telling us what we can and can't say to the press. That's un-American.
Yeah, what about freedom of speech, the Constitution?
No, you signed a contract. You don't have any rights.
I thought that nonsense was centuries behind us. Between this and the misuse of Sun Tzu from the last episode, I think these writers might have trouble understanding the instructions on shampoo bottles. What else are you going to get wrong?
See? What are you doing?
No pepperoni.
The pepperoni's the whole point.
I will not eat anything that did not die in a fair fight.
It doesn't even come from a real pig.
Okay, how do you live? And you've never killed anything, as this episode demonstrates. How are you getting your protein? I guess that explains why you're so thin. Caleb totally dominates the debate stage, but we don't really see the actual arguments that take place. Something tells me the writers lack the skill to write an actual debate scene, which is a shame because every show of older Trek has absolutely fantastic trials, hearings, arguments, and so on. After our Kling not tells Caleb he has stage fright, Caleb tells a story about what he learned about Klingon history.
Combat.
That is not the issue. The issue is that arguing, standing up for what I believe makes sweat flood down my face.
And trail stew?
That is warrior stew. Only those who have served their house in battle can taste it. My fathers and mother taught me better than that.
You grew up with your parents?
A triad house.
I once shared a garbage freighter with the Klingon. Stowaways. She told me the story. How Kalish united the houses and conquered Konosh.
You're saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong. It's Kales and Kronos.
To think, Kalis himself once held this battle.
Enterprise fired on Kronos 1.
You fucking... misquoting, contradiction, and now mispronunciation. For the love of Cthulhu, we're only 7 minutes into the episode and it's already a disaster.
You're not exactly catching us at our best.
That much is certain.
None of these episodes start strong, but they don't fall apart this hard and fast. Holy shit, it's already the worst episode so far and it's barely begun. Our Klingon cadet gets informed of a ship carrying 8 Klingon houses suffered mechanical failure. And we learn that he's the only Klingon cadet in Starfleet. Oh, so this is a cheap ripoff of Worf. We really are doing this again. I would like to take this moment to inform you that Michael Dorn has more appearances in Star Trek than anyone else. 5 movies and 284 episodes of combined TV shows, including Deep Space Nine and The Next Generation, as Worf. He was thoroughly explored, earned, and suffered a shit ton more than this crybaby ever will. I don't see this kid giving up ruling the Empire for the greater good of the galaxy. Apparently the Klingons have been nearly wiped out and reduced to a band of refugees by the burn. And Kronos was destroyed. So we're really doing this again. But we're not talking about an event that shook the political landscape of the entire world. No. Not this time. We're talking about identity now. They really did this episode for a commentary on identity. I want you to consider that as I explain what happens in this episode. Apparently, Jaden here, yes, that is his name, his 2 dads and mother left him after his brother's death and he refused to kill a bird. But not before one of his 2 dads misses the bird and goes batshit crazy. This is why Jaden joined Starfleet. Meanwhile, the news broke about the Klingons being on the brink of extinction, and now there is a debate event coming up with the topic of if the Federation should intervene. Jaden decides to argue in the position of being against Federation help.
Jaden, Mir is an ass. He's the best debater we got.
Master debater.
The new Klingon leader is also against accepting a planet from the Federation because they consider it charity. You realize that part of Star Trek VI was the Federation actually offering aid to the Klingon Empire? They even had an evacuation plan for the entire planet so they could help make Kronos habitable again. But now you're too proud to accept help? The fuck? Every Klingon leader was at least a little open to compromise. Even the greatest Klingon meme, Gowron, could be convinced of necessary compromise or sacrifice for the Empire.
Maybe there's a better way.
The Khitomer Accords. The treaty between the Federation and the Klingon Empire is dead.
But we can bring it back to life again. This is the most fortified position between here and the Klingon Empire. There will be a Starfleet task force here soon. If you could bring your fleet here,
then we could stand united against the Dominion. And if we do, we might have a chance.
So after a homoerotic moment between Fishjock and Klingnot, we see the debate, and both he and Caleb get too personal about it. During an intermission, Jaden gets advice from the half-Klingon instructor. It's funny how he gets his shit together after getting counsel from a woman instead of the men that have tried to help him, but it's okay because she's half-Klingon. Whatever, show. She tells this crying picky eater that's never killed anything himself and refuses to fight anything that he's a Klingon warrior. So he returns to the debate stage, and a Klingon problem requires a Klingon solution. And what is that solution? A fake fight.
But shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Letting the Klingons win a fake fight so they can say they won the planet to protect their honor? This is patronizing as shit, and even more shameful than accepting charity. Being threatening and capable warriors are Klingons' main thing, and you took it away, then called it a win. Even Worf would have said the Empire is better off dead compared to this solution. But you know what's really pathetic? There's a blatantly obvious solution to this problem. You see, Klingons have very strong feelings about ancient enemies. All you had to do was tell them the planet was infested by tribbles.
A tribble?
Told me tribbles like everyone, but this one doesn't seem to like you.
The feelings mutual. They do nothing but consume food and breed. If you feed that thing more than the smallest morsel, in a few hours you'll have 10 tribbles, then 100, then 1,000.
Calm down.
They were once considered mortal enemies of the Klingon Empire. Hundreds of warriors were sent to track them down throughout the galaxy. An armada obliterated the tribble homeworld. By the end of the 23rd century, they had been eradicated.
Extinct? Well, sorta, but not exactly. They were once, but they were brought back to DS9. And even if they were wiped out again in other media, I don't think this show gives a shit about details like that. Having the Klingons take over a planet to hunt tribbles to death is far less embarrassing than this.
Status report. Shields holding at 95%, Captain. No structural damage.
Wow, all that bombardment and you didn't do shit? Fucking Mud from Wish was more effective at causing damage with only one of his ships. But we're not done yet. Jaden is rewarded with the warrior's weapon of the Klingons. A bow and arrow? Why? Are batleths not a thing anymore? Motherfucking Kalis, whose name is constantly mispronounced and referred to as a myth, even though he was totally an actual Klingon in Trek, I see what you're doing, show, had his own batleth. There was an entire episode of DS9 specifically about it. Did you not have any money left to make one? Did you waste too much on the CGI budget? So Klingnot and Caleb share another meal and, they ruined them. They ruined Klingons. A race that's been in Trek since the first show.
Those are Klingons?
Mr. Worf?
They are Klingons. And it is a long story. We do not discuss it with outsiders.
And with all the heavy homoerotic behavior and triad house culture mixed in, we get a new ingredient to add to this toxic stew of a show. So far, it's an expensively made ripoff of Harry Potter, plus Marvel, plus Queer as Folk, on Paramount Plus, with a Star Trek label on it.
Rule of acquisition 239. Never be afraid to mislabel a product.
I wonder which part of Trek lore will be next.
How's that?
Awful!
At least this episode did not further the myth of Nala looking for Caleb for 15 years. Okay, so we got some episodes that focused on these characters. We know more about Caleb, Fishjock, Daddy Issues, Not Princess, and Klingnot. So, who do we get for this episode? The Lamp. And it begins with the kind of narcissism that would make Gul Dukat blush. We get a montage of the Lamp narrating her story. But it's not exposition like a letter to home or a log entry. She's breaking the fourth wall, like Deadpool. The closest thing like this happening in Star Trek that comes to mind was in possibly the greatest episode of DS9, Star Trek, and even the 90s itself, The Pale Moon Light, where Sisko is so tied up in recent choices he's made that he can't even talk to Dax about it. So he narrates the episode through a very personal log that he deletes in the end. He even makes eye contact to the camera, but it doesn't break the immersion. He's not addressing the audience directly. And dear Lord, it's an absolutely fantastic performance by Avery Brooks.
And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
If you have not seen Deep Space Nine, you might want to skip this part of the video. But this episode will spoil the finale and even ruin it retroactively. The reverse vegan Klingon is now in a skirt. The Not Prince simps for the Lamp. Jockfish pukes glitter. And the Lamp even describes herself as an emissary. Since she was sent here by her people, superiors, the parents, let's go with factory. Her factory sent her here to see if it was safe for them to be around organics again. That's not an emissary, representative, or even an ambassador. That's a spy. You're a spy that fancies yourself as an emissary. Well, no matter what you are, they clearly did not send their best. But why are you going with emissary? We're going to find out real fast. While she's reporting back to the factory, you know what? Factory isn't right either. She's a spy. They are her handlers.
Please explain the purpose of your recent course selection.
This is our doing, and it is just the beginning.
Oh, fuck off, you big lamp!
They tell her that she enrolled in the wrong classes to study organics, and she's having trouble understanding them or even explaining them. So, her handlers tell her to enroll in a class called Explaining the Unexplainable. She tries to join the class near the end of the semester. So the teacher tells her to come back next year. The Lamp counters by offering to solve the mystery of what happened to Benjamin Sisko. Okay, pump the brakes and pull over. She's offering to solve the mystery of what happened to the best captain in Star Trek history when there is no mystery. He joined with beings that exist outside of linear time. But the show is framing it like it's the mystery of the pyramids. And she has to do this when she can barely understand human behavior. Wouldn't joining a psychology class be a simpler solution? This is like tasking a cat to explain the color blue to a dog so it can sleep in a regular bed. It's completely illogical. And she's basically a computer. We gave a shit about Data, but I honestly want this character to snap and go full Skynet.
Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am.
This script is too stupid to have been written by an AI. At least if it was, you would have AI representation in your fucking show.
I'm sending you back to the fire.
Benjamin Sisko was a... What I'm saying is, there's a lot here. Like a lot.
Goddamn right there's a lot there. 7 seasons, averaging in over 20 episodes each. A much better show, written by writers who gave a shit and had something to say. Go watch that instead. Massive spoilers for said show ahead. I wouldn't want to ruin your first experience with DS9, but this show goes even further than that. So kids talk about what they know or understand about Sisko, and all it does is make me hate this show even more.
Well, he must be dead, right? Between the fire and the red guys?
That's wild. My dad said he was this huge hero back in the day, but Starfleet never found a body, so they consider him MIA.
MIA? 800 years later. Come on.
This is my problem. I have to prove that he's either dead or still alive with the Prophets.
Why?
Because I want to be a great emissary like Sisko, and to do that, I need to get into this class.
But this way, he's Schrodinger's prophet. Everybody wins. It's not that deep, Sam.
Proving that a human either combusted or exists on a multidimensional plane with non-corporeal entities isn't deep.
Dude was an emissary, okay? Guys like this always end up dead for telling people what they don't want to hear or for doing crap jobs nobody else will do. Like taking on those fire things. Either way, he's dead.
You know, I did not hate Caleb. He was annoying, but I didn't hate him. Until now. If it wasn't for Cisco, you would be a Dominion slave.
The mines stay. I will not allow any more Dominion reinforcements through the wormhole.
You will not allow?
You heard me.
Ungrateful prick. Apparently, as a cadet, he used to frequent a bar in San Francisco. That bar is long gone, but there's a new one in its place. So, to honor him, they decide to go, which is just an excuse for them to have a bar scene. It's just more of the writers writing what they know. Challenging characters for growth is hard. Let's just get them drunk instead.
Starfleet! Just like Cisco!
Don't make me embarrass you, girl.
You okay, son?
Oh, about the Cisco bar thing, Cisco drank only on rare occasions, either doing so alone or if it was a part of a mission. He certainly didn't frequent Quark's bar like the rest of the crew.
Now remember what I said about throwing glasses.
Bravo you want, but don't get between me and the blood wine!
He definitely could throw down if he needed to, much like Kirk before him. On the subject of misunderstanding Cisco, what the fuck is Benny Russell's typewriter doing in here? That experience only took place in Ben's mind as torture from the Pa Wraiths. The only person he spoke to about it was his father. Not even Dax knew about it. It's a fantastic episode, and they put it here as an Easter egg, but it makes no sense to be here. There is something about this episode I really like, though. They brought Sirach back to play an older Jake, and he had nothing but kind words for his father.
I didn't know him as the emissary. But if you want to know what made him a great man, how much time do you got? I knew a man that loved baseball. A man who would knock out a cue without thinking twice. I knew a man who always championed me, especially in my writing. I know his recipes, his passions, and the example he set for me as a father, so that when I became a father myself, I was able to love my children the way he loved me.
So I don't hate this episode as much as I expected. Yet. So the lamp sees the teacher again and is handed the only existing copy of Anselm, Jake's first book. And in it, a hologram of Jake arrives and says this, which sounds lovely and wholesome at first, but really pissed me off the second I thought about it.
You know all those things that you think he missed? He didn't. He was always there. He never really left us. I can't prove it, but I know it's true.
Are you serious?
Hang on. Did you just confirm that Cisco never returned to see his family? What the fuck, show?
When will you be back?
It's hard to say. Maybe a year. Maybe yesterday.
Avery Brooks was extremely committed to making sure that Benjamin Sisko was a father first. So much so that he would go to events with Sirach and his sons and introduce him as one of his own children.
What was your favorite mission you've been on in Deep Space Nine?
My favorite mission? My favorite mission was raising Jake.
I realized the significance and importance of the small things that we did that Avery was aware of. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was important for him to set the precedent for a black man raising a child, being there, being a father, being involved in his child's life, having that as his primary concern in life.
It is a reality of the disproportionate number of brown male children without father figures, etc. So it was very important to me that relationship, remained strong.
Maybe I'm looking into this too much because it's also implied that the lamp here is imagining all of this.
So if I close this book, are you just gonna disappear?
I don't know, girl. I thought you were the one controlling all of this.
Oh.
Which means She believes that Sisko never returned. But we're not done yet. Turns out this teacher isn't just a Cardassian, but part Trill as well. But not just any Trill. She has the Dax symbiote.
I'm a Dax. Wait, you're Dax? Like the Dax? As in mentor to Sisko Dax?
Star Trek Discovery already ruined Trills by making them less special. Apparently, any species can have a symbiote now. That's not this show's fault, but this show does remind us of that. Secondly, their lifespan is not this long. On DS9, Dax was already 300 years old. Thirdly, if any species is on the table now, why a Cardassian? Jadzia was killed by a Cardassian. Better yet, why not a Klingon? Curzon Dax and Jadzia Dax adored and embraced Klingon culture.
You! Leave her, or I'll cut your head off and hang it from my belt.
Even Ezri developed a craving for Klingon coffee, even though she couldn't stand it. Wait. Pump the brakes, pull over, shut it down. Where the fuck were you during the last episode? Curzon Dax was a Federation ambassador to the Klingon Empire and helped write the goddamn Khitomer Accords. Dax was a well-known and honored name in the Empire, no matter who the host is. You really just sat on your ass during the crisis? You ruined Dax too? How far did you go to ruin Dax? Did you play the part yourself after writing it? Yes, you did! Fuck my ass! I hate this show!
Benjamin would have liked you.
No, he would not. Do you not remember why he punched Q? He was being provoked, and that's what Q wanted. But Sisko is not Picard. He doesn't have the time or patience for nonsense or bullshit. This character would have annoyed the piss out of him more than Quark.
May I help you, gentlemen?
I was following you.
Must have taken a wrong turn.
It looks that way.
This is more than just being about views, likes, and subscriptions now. Which, please, do so. This is personal now. A blood oath against this show has been made. I will see you all at the next stop, where we will finish off this season with a vengeance.
Fight! Just like Sisko!
You two are definitely not the same. This man has a commanding presence. You're just loud and weird.
Step on it.